Let's learn of the importance of the Zapier family when it comes to automations. So one of the tools I'm going to show you how I leverage personally in my own business is going to be the Digest tool in the specific context of handling multiple emails. For me, this would be part of my software company and also the Index of AI Businesses company. Welcome back to Corbin AI, y'all. Today, I'm going to show you some Zaps I actually use internally within this business I run. The purpose of these apps is to handle like a ton of emails, right? So I get a ton of emails from, the software company, and I get a ton of emails from AI Nexus. So I have separate Google Workspace accounts in order to handle this. But on top of that, I need some extra filtration system in order to see the actual pertinent emails that I need to respond to and have basically, really organized, compartmentalized ways of internalizing that many emails. Therefore, that's where Digest comes into play. That being said, though, I want y'all to check out a video that I made a couple weeks back that is pretty important in the context of this Zapier Toolbox. I believe it's called Build Any Zap. I'm going to go ahead and link it up there. This is pretty pertinent, y'all. I basically go over why the most important skill you can have when it comes to building automations, specifically with Zapier, is understanding the toolbox that they give you. All of these apps, I can guarantee you, should be used in your automation in some way or another. It just basically allows you to do code-like actions with no-code solutions, e.g. the filter. You can basically stop a flow and incur less cost if you put up a filter block correctly and you know how to leverage it correctly. That being said, though, check out that video. So this video, though, specifically, is we're going to look at two automations that I currently use within my company and kind of dive into one that has artificial intelligence in it and one that doesn't and the reasons why. Okay, so looking at our first automation here, it's going to be the AI Nexus Digest. So the purpose of this automation is if I come over to our website here and I go all the way down to the footer and I hit contact, the way I receive a contact email and the way I receive a submit your AI business email has different implications for me when responding. E.g., submitting a business, it's going to probably go through a different process than when someone just simply contacts me. So in order for me to kind of digest this, or you quite literally use the word of the tool, I set up a flow for this. So the flow I set up was this. When I receive a new email to this specific email, so in that context, that's contact@webcafeai.com, we're going to go ahead. This first version is going to be the one with artificial intelligence. I'm going to go ahead and edit it so we have like a better view here. So I'm going to say replace and kind of proceed from here. So when this email receives an email, we're going to go ahead and use a GPT block here. So the purpose of this GPT block for me personally is I use it in order to basically analyze what type of email am I dealing with here. So the way that the email body comes in is very structured. Let me go ahead and see if I can just show you real quick. So I went ahead and just sent me a fake piece of data here. As you see above me, this is how the email comes in. I'll go ahead and zoom in for y'all. Basically, it'll have form. So this is using Webflow's backend. It'll have form, the site, and then the submitted data, e.g. the name, the email, and the message. So knowing that, that's how every single piece of data is sent for this specific email. I can come back to my automation here and identify this. So I know within the body plane, basically the contents of the email you just saw there, I'm either going to see a couple things. I'm either going to see contact page form, newsletter CTA form, post promotion business, post to business. All of these forms have different context. E.g., if it's a newsletter CTA form, I don't need to respond to it. That just means that they subscribed an email to a newsletter. Although if it's a contact page form, that is more pertinent. So what I do in this context is I say if form name not found, put NA. I basically just don't want to continue this flow here because it's a different type of email. And then the format output, just the form name, no text before and after. So then coming over to the digest, this is where the magic happens. So the way digest works is when data is sent, so when I get a new email, this is going to be sent to my digest. And I've actually made a whole video on that on digest as well, so you can go and check that up there as well. I'm going to continue here. Purpose of this one is that it is a daily frequency. So at 9 a.m., I'm going to see all the emails I received on this specific email yesterday. So basically, once 9 a.m. passes, if I receive an email at 10 a.m. and this gets triggered, it's going to be added as an entry. So what I have and the way I structured my entries is that I'll do email subject. So I'll grab the specific subject line found within that email, and then I'll give the reply of that form found. So what that does for me is that if I receive, so let's say if after 9 a.m. I received 5 different emails before this gets sent out as an email to myself. I know I'm saying email a lot. Point being is this though. At 9 a.m., I'll receive this email to my main corporate account. That email will basically outline a couple of things. So let's say I had 5 emails sent to me after 9 a.m. Each one will be its own separate entry. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see 5 lines basically. Then when it sends that at 9 a.m., it's going to reset. E.g., if the following day no email is sent, I'm not going to receive an email using this action right here. So let's go and look at this action real quick. So I'm sending it to myself because the purpose of this is just to organize data coming in for a separate email. And if I come down here, as you see, I've done a couple of things. First thing I did here is I added an account. So what is the count? A count is how much new, so in this context, how many emails did I receive that day? But in the context of just overall what digest means, it is basically how many times or how many entries of new data points, the email subject and the specific form found. That is what count means in this context. So the way I like structuring it is I like giving my subject line, giving me basically, an idea of how many emails did I receive yesterday. So if this count says 10, that means I received 10. If it says 5, it means I received 5. Next, because I don't really care what it looks like UI-wise, I just use body plain. And I leave the email count in there again. And then the current digest is going to be every single one of those emails with the subject line and the form associated with it to give me context on the type of emails that were sent to me. So if I receive 4 emails, like one is a contact page, but the other 3 are just random newsletter things from maybe MailChimp, I know that basically, okay, I only have to respond to 1 email today. That's kind of how I proceeded in this context. So knowing that, I went ahead and created a version that doesn't use artificial intelligence, and we just call it Tube Standard Digest. Purpose is because in reality, if you're contacting me through this contact email, there isn't a lot of different avenues that can be taken. It's very much so that I'm just receiving an email to the contact@tubestam.com email, and the only context I really need is that I got an email. What I do in this context, same deal, put the email count in the subject line so it gives me like idea of how many I got to deal with in the body, and then also just however many lines of emails I got received for that specific account. That all being said, if you're interested in learning more about Digest, I encourage you to check out that video right there. Also, if you're interested in understanding these tools, I really encourage you to check out that one, Build Any Zap. This is one of the most important tools and one of the most important skills anyone that wants to leverage automation needs to learn. This is what gives you the ability to create complex flows, because now your toolkit isn't just, well, I don't really know how to add logic in the sense of if there was less than 50 employees in that business that they submitted on the form. I don't know how to add logic. So the answer to that would be pass. This is where it's very important to understand how to use AI Toolbox. But for now, that concludes today's video. I just want to show you this real quick as a very niche example, but a real example that I use within my business myself. So if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like for the value. I'm going to leave a playlist at the end here, basically approaching Zapier and all 5,000 apps when it comes to AI. You can go and check out other specific use cases that you may care about when it comes to automation. But without further ado, y'all, I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for tuning in. And yes, surprise, I'm an AI avatar. Make sure to explore more here at Corbin AI, where we demystify AI for your personal and business life. Until next time.